All right. Hey, Nick. Cool to meet you. Right, Nick?
You got it, yes.
Excellent.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Winter Anti-Folk Festival at Sidewalk Cafe. It's Friday night. Please put your hands together for Julia, everyone.
Hi, guys. Hi, Julia. So I've been coming here for a year and I'm gonna read you poems that I've written in this past year. Hey, hi. Oh my gosh, this is embarrassing. I feel like this is my kindergarten graduation.
Specifically your
It is. Okay, well, I'm gonna start with an intro poem, which is called The Marcy J. Stop with Jesus. That was one of the first poems I wrote. Okay. Hi, my name is Joan Jett. No, actually, it's Joliet. No, actually, it's Julia. I'm the jewel of the sea, drinking orange Julius's at Orange Julius, dreaming of ginger and jukeboxes and dive bars, thinking of gummies and gravy, but mostly of Havarti cheese and Doritos Pop and Claude Giroux and giblets, boosting on juices and jams and javelin throwers with swollen muscles who hurl spears in the sky. It's like 300, Sparta! Just juggle jobs until the right one sticks to the ceiling, just jog vigorously to the end of the platform and scream, Brooklyn, I'm coming! Are you waiting for me? Are you saving yourself? The J can take me to Bushwick, right? Of course it can. It's my train. It goes where I go, without any brakes. Ever, ever, ever more. Ginger Jesus Christ is unfortunately not my Lord and Savior, but I do think we could have been friends. He probably would wear jellies. I'd wear them too. We'd ride the J to the Marcy J stop and look at the water and bridges and wonder, Jesus, how would you feel about a slice of juniper berry pie? Woo! Okay. This one is called Intimate Spaces. It's that touch that probably doesn't mean anything. Somewhere public. Cafe, park bench, sidewalk, movie theater, party amongst mutual friends, crowded bar. It has the semblances of a private, intimate space. Table for just two, smushed in the corner of a cafe that's moving between sluggish and bustling. Park bench on the outskirts of Washington Square Park, between the chess player hustle and the yapping of tiny dogs wearing rubber rain boots. Weaving through maps with legs, arms threaded through each other, trying to keep the same pace. The balcony of the Union Square Theater, where you can look out at a silver screen at an expectation and feel suspended in midair. A gathering where you know all the guests, but find more enjoyment in criticizing from the edge and laughing softly. Squished between a Polish gangster and a Midtown yuppie who are both complaining about the same thing, but won't stop to realize from their separate bar stools. These places where these events take place make my face hot with the itch of, I feel like I know what you want to say, but I'm afraid it's misdirected, or maybe I can't begin to devote time to decoding what that slight squeeze meant. So, or the lingering on a street corner, or the way you say nothing when I ask what you're thinking about. These touches that say, I need you, I rely on you, I want just you, but the words that prove that maybe I'm just a warm body to pull close when it's cold. Those things that make my face itch hot. It's hot up here.
Don't be nervous, but I have Robbie's face.
Oh my god. Hi, Rob.
He's muted.
Okay.
He said hi, but I
Okay.
didn't like his
Okay, this one is called Humans Are Animals in Blue Ruins, aka Clem plus Joel, or Saturday Night Fever. It's also one of the first ones I read here. Okay. Humans are animals. Animals fall into patterns for survival. Dogs circle 3 times clockwise before laying their weary heads to rest. I have patterns too. My patterns have absolutely nothing to do with natural selection. How Julia gets to sleep on weekends. 1. Pre-game, hard liquor. Almost always with about 3 good friends and your best friend, Jack Daniels. You were in high school together. 2. Party or dive bar, East Village or Williamsburg or Bushwick only. Must consult the heavens if you feel Lower East Side or Crown Heights is necessary. 3. Drink beers. 4. Lock eyes with handsome stranger or your friend's best friend. 5. Approach. Do not approach cautiously, a sign of weakness. Firmly dig your motorcycle boots into the floorboards and propel yourself forward. Be the danger. 6. If stranger, ask to play with phone. Be curious and inquisitive. If friend's best friend, talk about how much you hate their best friend and what a tool that dude over there is. 7. Lightly flirt, but be pretty hold no bounds about it all, like, Dude, I'm only using a thimbleful of effort. I could literally cakewalk this in my sleep. Just look at his mouth. Sorry. 8, just look at his mouth, okay? You need to aim right. 9, just do it. Trademark Nike. 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, and finally, lucky number 17 magazine. Make out for like some minutes. Probably find somewhere that's not the middle of the dance floor, but most definitely is. And do that for about 4 minutes. Then add your number in their phone. Make sure they take yours and you do not take theirs, or else you will worry about when is the right time to text. Have a smoke, text someone you hate or love, and then bolt out of that place to the nearest cab, to the nearest McDonald's for a McChicken that proves you'll never ever have a boyfriend, because you're going to eat that puppy right off your bare chest in your bed. Rinse and repeat the next morning to all your friends over Bloody Marys, where you'll talk about how you're never going to drink again, as you're drinking again, as you're talking about how you're always a jerk when you're drunk. Sure enough though, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, it's literally the same story, without fail, usually on Saturdays when I've put my cares to bed. There's no Pope in 2013, but a Pope once said something about worlds that forget stuff, like how I forget my keys, wallet, and phone are every Saturday night, when they're always in my purse, even though I hate carrying one. And something about eternal sunshine, and spotless minds, and Clementine and Joel, and how even with blameless, clean memories, we're still going to do the dumb things we always do, that tear us down and break our souls, and make us want to lay in the fetal position for about 7 minutes in the shower, only listening to O Comely by Neutral Milk Hotel on a loop, and thinking about how we touch mouths. It's because we're animals. It's because of evolution. It's bound to happen. Like the time tunnels in Donnie Darko that come out of our tummies. We'll wander aimlessly into each other's arms. Till then, we'll just talk about anything and everything, and I'll try and see you on Saturday nights to repeat the cycle, or maybe be an outlier and break the chain and change my ways. Whew. Okay. It's hot up here. Maybe it's just, I don't know. Okay. This one is called Buttons. I became unfocused so quickly. When you're living your life one way and dramatically shift, the floor drops out from under you and you can't breathe. Close your eyes, deep breath, refocus. What happened? They say no man is an island, but I was in the sense that I learned to be one. I got very good at only answering to myself and only being concerned with what was meaningful to me. I learned at a young age that with my small, weak voice, I could change things. The responsibility was terrifying, so I never spoke. I wore a button-down shirt with the buttons fastened tightly to the top. I hid my eyes behind thick black bangs, so no one could read my thoughts that were spilling out through my pupils. Then I learned to make people smile. There's nothing like looking into the eyes of someone who's smiling, when they understand exactly what you're talking about, but have been too afraid to say it themselves. I recognized the fear because it was where it had come from. My buttons were coming undone. My small, weak voice became more confident. I knew that by saying what I was thinking, I would never be blamed for a miscommunication, a carefully calibrated ecosystem of, this is what I'm about. Sure, turn your nose up at me, but I'm still moving forward and I'm not looking back. I walked more openly, lighter, but with more direction, because when you fall, you have to get back up, or else you'll decay. And my buttons were undone. Then the floor dropped. Or I dropped. These eyes smiled because they had been trying to say what I was saying. I was present and so were they, and then I was swallowed up whole. My buttons found their places and settled in their buttonholes. I had been open for so long, and I thought I had found what I was looking for. And I did. The safety and security you can feel with another person, it was there. I could be honest and open because I had been, but what about adding passion and their own thoughts and feelings? It got tangled the way most people believe it's supposed to. It seemed messy, and I was closed off. I had no air to breathe, and I became distracted from expressing myself. I thought I didn't have to. I sank and it was dark. I would look into those eyes and feel myself shrinking. I thought I had found it, and it wasn't for me. But it was those damn buttons. My hands were shaky, and my voice grew weaker, and I atrophied. But I'm making a stand. I'm slowly inching towards the water cautiously. The buttons are loosening, and we're becoming more parallel. As long as I stay focused, it will all be okay. As long as we continue forward and we don't look back. Thanks, guys. Okay. So this one is one of the new ones. That's called Hapless Sodium Vapor Lamps in mid-January. Okay.
When was it written?
It was written in February? But I
His
have
name is a lie!
Okay. Thank John Berger, everyone. John Berger.
Cheers, John.
We step out into the street and I immediately grope around the inside of my purse, silently cursing myself for even bringing one. You're always just fumbling around in there, not grabbing anything you're looking for, I think to myself, as my hands find their way over a book I brought along for the subway ride, and in between a pair of socks and a pack of gum. I finger the edge of my keys to make sure they're still accounted for. I find the devious little lighter, spark it, and inhale deeply. You're talking about something, your holiday spending time with your family, or some show we used to watch together. I'm focusing on the crack in the sidewalk that separates us, and nodding slowly, letting out oh cools and no ways every so often. The waters begin to rise. I take a long drag from my cigarette as you told me you got kicked out of that band. I don't know what to say because I knew it was inevitable. So I look at the ground, brush some dirt off my boot. Wow, no way. Take another drag, turn to face the street, and exhale, closing my eyes, wishing I was anywhere but there. The ocean that separates us is just too immense, too vast to traverse on a tiny vessel made of unmet expectations and unwanted criticisms of the world. I think about how in the first month we started dating, you joked that beginning a relationship was like a job interview. You have to convince the other party that you're not crazy, so they let you in. You passed your interview with ease. You captivated me with charm and sensitivity. But little did I know that what was boiling in those deep, sweet brown eyes wasn't compassion for your fellow man, but a pain and disgust with the world that you refused to compromise. Everything was wet and yellow that night. Your eyes were wet with the incredulousness you felt towards your never-ending plight. The streets were wet from the rain that had happened or was happening. Everything glowed around the sodium vapor lamps, and light passed through smoke. The 2 weeks after it happened, I was devastated because it's much easier to cling to things that are familiar than to let them go and change. I thought you were my rock. You were the center of my immediate universe, my sun maybe, and it all flipped, suddenly. You were cold and calculating, you were a shadow, you were gone. And now, 2 months after I walked you to the front door, after wine, tears, and macaroni and cheese, we're standing under this yellow, wet light, and I'd rather fall overboard again and again than continue through the storm. The last time I ever spoke to you, it was 2 a.m, in between 4 or 5 beers, outside of the venue. Might have been on the Lower East Side, around the corner from Delancey, or was it Houston? Ooh. All right, this one's called Shark Tank. This cage, whoop. Hold on, brief intermission. Not for Where did that go?
It went that away.
It went that away. Okay. All right. Yeah, Shark Tank. Okay. This cage is supposed to protect me, but the only thing I want to do is pry the bars open, swim to the surface, and breathe the fresh sea air again. Eventually float to a shore somewhere far away from your gnashing teeth and sharp fins. I remember when you were a hatchling, when I cared for you deeply, but now you've grown 6 times your size, and I can't bear to watch anymore. I'm drowning in this cage of steel, and you're pressing your nose against the bars, against my head. Swallow me whole or leave me alone. I'd rather swim around inside you with the discarded license plates from California and the tractor tires than be chewed up and spit out by someone as immature as you. I wonder if you ever think about those you've already devoured. Think about what they were thinking as you chewed them to bits. I doubt that would ever happen. Your eyes go black and you see red, and then you open your jaws, 4 rows of razor-sharp teeth, scream, "You're such a fucking cunt," and bite down as hard as you can. Breaking bones, ripping flesh, cracking ribs, everything turning to dust. A bloody mess. The waters turn red. I float to the surface. Sarah. That's my twin sister.
She
Oh my God.
FaceTimed in
Hi, Bo.
for it.
All right, this one's called Comset. I was told, I'm also a photographer. I do a lot of things. I have my toes dipped in like a lot of creative expression. But I was told that this poem is like one of my photographs. So,
Was that supposed to be a compliment?
yes.
Okay, just checking.
Oh my God, John.
Just checking.
Killing me.
John.
Just. Okay, it's called Comset. He smelled like an old memory, one from that weird in-between of adolescence and teenagehood. Wintergreen lifesavers, light pollution, a long walk at night, leaves crunching and the smell of a fire in the distance. A home I didn't know I had.
Little short baby.
Almost done. Wait, how am I doing on time?
No.
Woohoo!
20
Not
minutes
yet.
worth. Please read slower.
Okay. Do I have a long one coming up? I could do a long one later. Alright, we'll see. Okay, this one is Walkabout. I've heard that all who wander are not lost, but perhaps they've been abandoned, driven to the edge and forced to roam, following their souls where their souls carry them. It's unbelievable how much our eyes can speak. They flutter with lies, with sincerity, they glow. Strange tongues blather endlessly, the eyes do the work. And we can walk 2 straight lines, silent, wandering but not lost, abandoned but not betrayed, growing outward, expanding while experiencing. The ground is hot on our bare souls, souls bare and eyes moving forward, upward, outward. Oh, you didn't miss your poem. This is great. You walked in at like exactly. I don't have to read it. Okay. This song, because this poem is called A Letter. Hi, Daniel. To my Robert Mapplethorpe. My name isn't Patty, it's Julia. I did not grow up in South Jersey. I grew up in a small town on Long Island, a waspy neighborhood with my dark brown hair and eyes as bright as the Star of David sewn onto Anne's coat in 1945. I'm not starving, maybe only hungry, sated by the creative energy flowing down the avenues of the East Village. My home isn't CV's, it's Sidewalk, 3 avenues over and 2 blocks up. It's where I found my voice, my strength, love, loss, family, community. It's my home, but I wish it had been Patty's too. It's my family's home, like you. This isn't a love letter. Well, it is in some sense, but not sexual, although that would solidify the closeness I feel to your spirit. But you've had your heartbreak, and I know that, so I don't press. It's an appreciation, an ode, to you, Robert, for experiencing art with me, for challenging me creatively and philosophically, for letting me be open to you, with you, and for opening up to me, with me, for experiencing the most important days of my life, for sharing yourself and your time, for being you. Please know my appreciation. Hold it in your hands like a freshly hatched chick, heart fluttering and warm, like my appreciation for you. Gentle, fragile, excited. My heart flutters too. Love and appreciation always. Your Patty Smith, Julia. Okay. This is an older one, and I wasn't gonna read it. Why the fuck not? Okay. It's called Brillo Pad Skin. Every time I buy a new pair of pantyhose, the millisecond the nylon touches my skin, it runs like little high school boys, the ones that would stand over by the police booth and try to get high on banana peels. They saw my Brillo Pad skin from down the hallway, my back that refused to break, after lies and betrayals, after sticks and stones, and the teeth I bared when I heard insults being slung at all the yangs to my yin, and they ran, fragile and fake. Here's the thing, I knew I wasn't cut out for the pursuits of vanity that come with being a teen girl. I was more Lindsay Weir in an army green jacket, just trying to fit in. I never could achieve that feathered hair though. I chose the high road. People are more impressed when you say exactly what you're thinking than when you say what they're expecting you to say. I'm a too big girl in most senses of the phrase, stamping out cigarettes in patent leather pumps, throwing a shiny leather vest over my shoulder, smearing the deepest red on my lips to sugarcoat me yelling, "I eat little shits like you for breakfast." Okay, this one, I'm gonna preface this with, I'm taking a writing class, whoop, and my professor suggested in order to remember things, you can build a memory house out of your childhood home. Like for a phone number, the first digit will be in the front hallway, and then like you go through your house and each digit is in a specific room. So you walk through the memory of your house. So I wrote a poem about that idea, but not about remembering a phone number. So this is called The Memory House. On the porch of my memory house, your coat is buttoned to the throat. You brush away the hair that's caught between my lips. We enter through the bright blue door together. Snow covers the front hall steps. Remove our shoes. Put my wet socks in the dryer and head to the kitchen. The pink bathroom on the right is decked with twinkling Christmas lights. I can make out a singular shadow, but I shut the door. In the kitchen, you grab my hand from across the table, sipping your draft and pushing your glasses up the bridge of your nose. A bridge my fingers have walked across on a quiet morning in an unfamiliar bed. We abandon our glasses and traverse the snowy incline. We reach the summit and are at a fork. I choose the path I'm most familiar with, the straight and narrow, my childhood bedroom. A thick layer of frost covers the field and graves. We walk and kick up the ice. The fog is rolling out as the sun rises, illuminating the arches at the entrance to the graveyard. We decide to lay down in the grass. Snow angels. It's such a new feeling to hold you. Strong and gentle arms, warm even though it's cold. Oh. Okay, so this is one I wrote last night. I have like 2 or 3 more, I guess. I could do...
Read them all, read them all.
I could do... Sorry. I could do like the first one I ever read here. If I have time. It's really intense, so I could save that for last. It's
No,
like,
I want it.
You want it now? No, I'll do it last. This is one I wrote last night. That's ridiculous. But it's called Where's Waldo, and it's about misconnections, because I've always wanted to write one, but I never have. And I should. But this is like an amalgamation of all the misconnections I've had. So it's just like one person personified, basically. Anyway, okay. It was on the J. No, wait, the 6. No, definitely the L. Because I was heading to Parker's. Wait, was I going to Willie's? No, I left Willie's the next day, but it had turned into Aaron's after too much mulled wine and Fireball and beer. So the L. Right, the doors opened at Bedford. Montrose? No, that's where I came from. No, wait, Grand. So, Bedford on the L. All seats had butts in them, so you stroll on. Big black boots, those red khaki kind of pants. Are those called chinos? Okay. Black boots, chinos, jury's still out. A wax cotton army jacket with so many pockets. I thought about writing my name, number, email on the back of a photograph I had in my pocket. I should have. I wouldn't have lost you. Signed, that girl with black and turquoise hair and dumb hat and dark green glasses who was whistling in the L subway car from Bedford to Montrose despite death glares from the Hispanic family couched on the gray-blue bench opposite. I'm getting off topic. You had this long, wide scarf, handmade, I assume, knit by your bubby in Boca Raton. I could see the slipped stitches where the yarn slipped off her metallic pink needles because her sweat had made them slippery. 80-degree weather is no temperature to be knitting me a scarf, you bark into your phone. I don't need one, I've got enough. She doesn't heed your advice and continues to knit this ridiculously long and wide scarf, interweaving the reds with reds, whites with whites. A long candy cane noose that happened to be dangling right in my face. Innuendo? Not at all. Because you were cloyingly apologetic about it, I heard a breathless sorry as you ran to get your place on the crowded car, gripping the cold metal bar overhead. It made my night, half my week, some of my month, a fraction of my year. You peered at me over your black and gold frames. I caught you watching me, rummaging in my pockets. You can't deny it. I was looking for a pen to write that aforementioned note to you, but it was nowhere to be found. I was defeated. I opted for looking upwards, flashing a coy, embarrassed smile, and continuing to whistle, wishing I had a writing utensil, wishing Grand Street would never come. I mean Montrose. Okay, so I don't want to do lump. It's too much.
Aw.
Sorry. Or we'll do it for you later.
Okay.
So this is called Double Life.
I'm gonna do water.
Double life. What if life was not a straight line? What if it were more like a Mobius strip? Two sides turning over on themselves, never meeting but always joined. Or what if we simply bounced? A small rubber ball constantly ricocheting off white walls. It's like floating, being picked up from what you know, slowly gliding through air, and returning. There's no fear of death because there's another side. We can continue turning over and over again. We can still be tied to what we've experienced, through music and images, through small details. The glittering stars embedded in the rubber ball, or the glittering stars above, they're infinite. They last as long as we do. They're more permanent though. Maybe they're souls that have been detached. They finally turned over, finally detached while floating, sprouting wings, bouncing, gone.
Good time for one more.
One more?
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey everybody, you're listening to Julia. She's gonna do one more for you. I'm gonna come around with this mandolin tip jar right here. That's how we pay all the acts at the Sidewalk Cafe. It's a suggested donation of $5, but you can definitely give more. We never said no. And give it up for Julia one more time, everybody.
So two more or one more?
2 short ones or 1 longer one.
Okay, I'll do 2 short ones, I guess. But I have to find the short one. No, it's okay, I'll do one. So this is a prose piece. It's like very uncharacteristic of anything I've read tonight. It's called The Journey Alone, and it's based on this photograph. Yay. So it was a free write that I had to do. I wrote it in 10 minutes, and then I went back and like slightly added, but not really. Okay, so The Journey Alone. They left the station in Dublin after midnight. This was the only way to have the mail delivered before the roosters first crow. George was heading to Inishbofin, a small town by a cliff overlooking the sea, a quiet town, a peaceful one, where every face was a familiar one. Charles was stoking the coal and heading out of country, Cardiff, Wales. He would not have any companions there. He would not make it to the pub after a long shift to join George for the sweet, warm, dark ale they usually shared after a long day's work. Charles was stoking the engine, slowly, begrudgingly, stopping every 30 seconds to wipe the sweat from his brow, glancing sideways to see George happily tending to his duties, tying up the parcels of gifts for families, binding envelopes together sent between loved ones abroad, lacing up his boots and buttoning his coat. He blew the whistle 3 times, startling Charles, called out lovingly, "I'll see you on the other side," and brought the green locomotive to a slow chug, the wheels spinning effortlessly over the cold steel tracks. Charles put down his shovel and rested his hand on the rope of the whistle, 2 short toots of his own horn. But George's small green train was already where the ground met the sky. It's unlikely he heard Charles's own reply via the whistle sitting atop his own red engine. His eyes went misty from the misconnection. It was probably just the smoke. He put his shovel back in the toolbox that doubled as the bench where he would perch himself for the long journey, take most of his meals, experiencing a strange land where he would be alone.
Thanks, guys.
Give it up for Julia one more time, everyone.